Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's that time of the week for the weekly rotation, and as per usual with my rotations, there's a lot of variety. I mixed it up quite a bit. Some newcomers, some niche, some blue fragrances, some cheapies, a little bit of everything as per usual. It's week number 79. Stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday is a cheapie that I featured in my cheap summer list, and it's one that I really believe is wonderful for the $30 you'll spend. It's orange, it's rhubarb, it's Lacoste L'Homme. So the Intense gets all the love, but the original's just so good. It's so much fresher because the Intense dials up the intensity. Obviously, it's more dense with the scent, and it does perform a little bit better, but this is still an average performer. The orange and the rhubarb are very well done. It's a different type of citrus freshie because rhubarb's not heavily used. And sometimes when it is used, it's not at the forefront like it is here. This and John Varvatos Vintage really does an orange note of some kind with rhubarb really well. With this being much fresher, no tobacco or anything like John Varvatos Vintage, this is just a great fresh fragrance. Not overly synthetic, still a little synthetic. Great for everyone. I love wearing it when I do wear it. I have so many, it doesn't get pulled out often. As with most of my fragrances, the rotations change on a regular basis. But it's definitely a really good one for around 30 bucks, and it's one that I really think you shouldn't overlook. Just because the Intense gets the popularity doesn't mean that this is any less of a good fragrance. And then out the shower that night, it was time for a good shave. Actually, I need to shave tonight as a matter of fact. But I went with my Zaharoff Signature Royale Shave Soap and aftershave splash, and then I also gave myself 2 sprays of the fragrance just to really beef up the sillage so I could really smell myself all the way into going to bed. Very relaxing, a lot of myrrh, a lot of blonde woods, a little touch of oud, some citruses. Very, very lovely fragrance. I was just in the mood for it. I have a lot of shave sets to work with, and for some reason I was just feeling this one on Sunday, and if you haven't tried it, you should, especially if you like traditional shaving, wet shaving, shave soaps and stuff like that, lathering up with a brush. Zaharoff's got a really good collection going on, and Signature Royale is definitely a lovely one. Out the shower that night, soap, splash, and the fragrance. Moving into Monday, one of what in my opinion is one of the best fragrances for summer, bar none, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. Super salty marine aquatic compliment machine that performs. I love this stuff. It's great. I don't wear it, again, like I said before, I don't wear everything all the time, but this one makes the rotation more so than not in the summer because I really like this one. I really, really like this one. Yes, I like the original scent profile better. It's a little bit lighter. If they could have just made that one an 8-hour fragrance, it would have been all fine and dandy, and this wouldn't need to exist. But this is a true intense flanker. It intensifies the original scent profile. It's richer, it's a bit more dense, and it's much saltier. It's much more on the marine aspect of what light blue is all about. And it dials up the performance, I gotta say. I know not everybody gets beast mode performance, but a lot of people do. And I'm one of those people that gets beast mode performance. This is a 10-hour fragrance easily. It projects very well, and the beauty of this is out in the air. The sillage of this one is gorgeous. It is a compliment magnet, at least in my experience. And that's exactly what I wore during the day on Monday. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. And then when I got out the shower that night, I saw this bottle. I haven't worn it in a while. Grabbed it and sprayed. Hollister Wave. The original, not Wave 2. Very lovely, citrusy, slightly green aquatic fragrance. Has a little bit of a creaminess to it in the dry down, but it's mostly fresh and citrusy and very watery. I find it has a strong watery appeal, almost metallic, if you will. Super cheap, synthetic, obviously it's a Hollister fragrance, but the Wave line is a great cheap line. It really is. I recently discussed Free Wave, which is actually coming up in the rotation here in a little bit as an out the shower fragrance. But Wave and Wave 2, great fragrances as well. I would say Free Wave is the best, with Wave 2 being number 2 and this one being my least favorite of the 3, but it's still no slouch. It's great for a young man's collection. It's great for a starter collection. It's great if you just need a cheap little aquatic gym bag fragrance or out the shower fragrance, because that's what I use it for. And out the shower, that's exactly what I did with it. Hollister Wave, the original. Moving into Tuesday was my first full wearing of this recent niche pickup that I got from Vinba Fragrances. It's my second MFK, Mason Francis Kirkjohn, Aqua Celestia Forte. So I'm not going to go too far into it with this one because I do have a full review coming. But the petitgrain, the mint, and the lime, it has the herbal appeal, but it's still almost like a sparkly type of opening. As strange as that may sound, that's the only word I can really come up with that I think fits it. It's sparkly, not just effervescent. It's got a sparkly quality. Think champagne, sparkly, bubbly type of stuff, which is still an effervescent quality, but I don't know, that word just sticks out in my mind when I smell this. Sparkly. Much more herbal and green than you would think because of the mint, because of the petitgrain. Very believable green, fresh greens type of scent that still has some citrus going for it. And it still has a watery appeal without any strong watery notes or anything. It still has it fits the name Aqua. It's got an aquatic appeal without being watery. It's weird how they pulled that off, but lovely fragrance. Above average performance, not a beast, but above average performance, natural, believable everything that you smell in this one. Gorgeous scent, absolutely digging this one. On Tuesday, I went with Aqua Celestia Forte from Mason Francis Kirkjohn. And then when I got the shower, cheap summer aquatic, Tommy Bahama, Set Sail Martinique. One that I haven't pulled out in quite a while. This is a salty marine cheapie. These pop up at Marshall's a lot. I see them at Ross Dress for Less. Of course, they pop up at Burlington, Nordstrom Rack. You can always find Tommy Bahama fragrances at Nordstrom Rack. Set Sail Martinique. It's a great, just cheap summer fragrance. Great to bring on vacation, just to spray the hell out of if you're going to be at the beach all day and you know you're going to be in and out the water and you don't want to just wash off those expensive sprays of, say, your MFK fragrance like I just featured. This is good for stuff like that because when you go in the water, you're going to rinse your fragrance off, especially out in the salt water if you're on the Gulf Coast. But it's a great vacation fragrance. It's great out the shower, and it's really good on a super hot day if you're on a budget. I've always liked these Tommy Bahama fragrances, and I need to pull them out a bit more. And Set Sail Martinique is definitely a lovely out the shower aquatic. Moving into Wednesday, one of my favorite blue fragrances, my favorite in the Bulgari Aqua line, hands down, is Aqua Atlantique. This is just such a good fragrance. It performs. I featured it in my Summer Fragrances That Last Long video recently. It's great. It's Dylan Blue if Dylan Blue was geared towards the beach in the summertime. This is way more aquatic, saltwater marine than Dylan Blue. Does have a similar scent profile. You can smell Dylan Blue in here. But this is so much better than Dylan Blue in my opinion. I really believe that. I love this fragrance. This was the first fragrance I ever reviewed on this channel. If you want to go back, organize it from oldest to newest on my videos, it's like the third video on the channel. Kind of cringe now because the lighting was terrible, the audio was terrible, but everything I said in that video, I still stand by today. This is summer performance in a bottle. It damn near fills a room on my skin. I smell myself all day long. I love the way this smells, and this has gotten me a lot of compliments. This is a great fragrance that does not need to be overlooked. This is the best one in the line, in my opinion. Some may think it's Amara, some may think it's Marine, and that's all opinions, just like this is my opinion. While I enjoy the whole line, Marine's my second favorite, I still say Aqua Atlantique is the best of the line, for sure. And then when I got out the shower that night, like I was saying, Free Wave makes an appearance, and boom, here it is. Hollister Free Wave. So, herbal green, soapy floral fresh, there's a little bit of iris in here. I think this is the best in the line. It's a little powdery. Of course, it's a little creamy woody at the same time. I really like this one. You can get a 100 milliliter bottle like this for around 20 bucks. I do wear it on occasion. I actually wear it back-to-back nights here and on Thursday I wore it out the shower both nights because I was really digging it. I enjoy it. It's a decent performer, 5-hour type of stuff, nothing spectacular, 5-6 hour range. Doesn't project real heavy, but you will smell yourself pretty easy for the first hour or so, maybe a little past an hour. Never received any compliments from it or anything like that. It's just cheap, easy to wear, enjoyable, and different. It's not an aquatic. It's more green, fresh, slightly powdery and floral, but definitely not feminine in any way. Lovely, lovely fragrance. Out the shower on Wednesday and on Thursday, Hollister Free Wave. And speaking of what I wore on Thursday, was actually my second full wearing of Aqua Celestia Forte from Mason Francis Kirkjohn. I was just enjoying it so much the day before, 2 days before, that I enjoyed wearing Bulgari Aqua Atlantique the following day, don't get me wrong, but when I was figuring out what to wear, I walked by my little table that I keep my rotation on. I saw it and I said, yeah, why not? Let's wear it again. So I've already got knocked out 2 full wearings. I'm really digging this one. I am. This is super, super good. If you like high quality fragrances, you're a niche guy, this is awesome for the summer. It's it's really good. I'll go in depth real soon. I have a full review coming up on it, but on Thursday I wore it again. Aqua Celestia Forte from MFK. And then, like I said before, 2 nights in a row out the shower was Hollister Free Wave. So we'll move on. Moving into Friday, I just did a full review of this with my buddy Mike from the Fragrance Wardrobe. If you haven't checked that video out yet, put it right here for you. I am talking about Aqua Essenziale Colonia from Salvatore Ferragamo. One of my favorite lines, mostly because Aqua Essenziale Blue is one of my favorite fragrances, but this is no slouch. I had a lot of people in the comments talk about it's too old of a smell for them and all that, and I get that because it replicates a very old fragrance, in Aqua di Parma Colonia. That fragrance has been around since the 60s, I get it. It's an Italian cologne style smell. Zesty Italian bergamot type of smell, fresh green grassy vetiver. There's a little touch of ambroxan that adds a soapiness, but it's not an ambroxan dominated fragrance or anything. I enjoy this one thoroughly. I like it. It's pretty loud in the first hour and a half. It's very zesty, fresh, and aromatic. The lavender here really helps it get out in the air, I find. Juicy, super juicy blast of bergamot because it's bergamot and water notes in the top, so it makes it for real juicy appeal in the opening. I love it. I think it's great. I've had people tell me it's been discontinued. I can't confirm that nor deny it, but it's a great cheapie. Right around 20 bucks will get you a 50 ml. Discounters online, places like that. Under 30 bucks you can get a 100 ml. I think it's worth it. If you like bergamot dominated fragrances, this is a great cheap bergamot fragrance. It just is. But you have to like fragrances like Aqua di Parma Colonia. If you don't like that fragrance, you won't like this because it's very, very similar. It's kind of like the designer take on it, if you will. Much more synthetic version of it. But I like it nonetheless. Aqua Essenziale Colonia from Ferragamo. And I doubled down on the brand that night. I went with Ferragamo F Free Time. Lemonade fragrance, Citrus dominant, only much more lemon than bergamot. Another one, clean grassy vetiver in this one. Very woody dry down. Easy to wear, easy to like. Nothing special in performance, 4 to 5 hour fragrance. If you spray your clothes, you can get in that 6 hour range for sure. This one I seldomly wear casually, more so out the shower, which technically is still casually sitting around, but that's pretty much what I wear it for. Some fragrances I kind of just coin for out the shower because there's so many other fragrances, so many better fragrances out there for me to wear during the day that perform better. So that's usually if it's a weaker performer or it's just super mega fresh, but it's not one of my absolute favorite super mega fresh fragrances. I'll put it as an out the shower fragrance, so I still get enjoyment out of it. I still wear it. And that's exactly what I do with this one, basically. It's a decent cheapie. It's not something super special that you need to run out and get, but it's definitely enjoyable. If you see this one for 15, 17 bucks or whatever at a rack store, give it a shot. Out the shower, F Free Time. Finally, on Saturday, another blue fragrance, one I have not worn in a while. I enjoyed it so much, I wore it out the shower that night as well. So all day long, I was smelling like Polo Deep Blue Parfum from Ralph Lauren. A green, much more green appealing Polo Blue meets Dior Sauvage, because there's a lot of cypress in the opening on this one. But man, do I love the way this one smells. I think they did a great job with it. It's not a mega beast in performance, but I get above average performance on it. If you can find this one for a great price, it's the best Polo Blue in the line to me, as long as you like ambroxan fragrances. If you don't like ambroxan fragrances, you won't like it, because the ambroxan is very present here. This is blue as blue gets, not just for the color. It's for the appeal, because your average blue fragrance is going to be that mass appealing man-made aroma chemical type of fragrance, iso-y, super ambroxan type of stuff. Definitely full of ambroxan here, but very enjoyable. I love the way it smells. It wears very well. It's easy to like. It smells great out in the air. It will get compliments. It's a good fragrance. I like it. Is everybody going to like it? Of course not. That's the case with everything, as I like to say often, but in my opinion, this is a great one. Haven't worn it in a while, and I was enjoying it so much that I went back to the well out the shower, which doesn't happen that often, really. I'll usually mix it up and wear something different in the evenings, but I was just digging it. I refreshed later in the day, and then when I got the shower, I wore it again. So 3 rounds in one day, basically. On Saturday, all day, was Ralph Lauren Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Well, that was the rotation for week number 79, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What did you wear this week? If you've watched these rotation videos before, you know the routine. Sound off below. I love reading those comments to see if we matched up on anything during the week, or what you guys have been wearing. What have you been digging? What have you been enjoying? I love to read stuff like that. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances I featured in this rotation video and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.